Hi, I'm Kira. I'm your host of Portal on the Street, our sister series to Portal to the Next Stage. Je suis arrivée en Cannes. I'm here in Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm not in New York anymore, and I'm so thrilled to be going to head into the immersive competition where we're going to experience some of the really wonderful VR, AI, and next generation pieces of the future of storytelling. So follow me.
It's incredible to be here at Cannes. It's definitely a watershed moment, I think, both for our collective industries and for this artistic practice to bring an immersive game, which is the first ever here at Cannes. So Lily is a neo-noir adaptation of Macbeth with focus on Lady Macbeth and set in contemporary Iran.
These plays written 400 years ago still have a cultural resonance.
Some of the key themes that we're exploring with the work is surveillance authoritarianism and gender oppression. The main character, the protagonist, is really the audience.
Can you tell me what is?
Oh,
did I do it on this side? Can you tell me what is this?
what did you get? Oh.
What is this?
So, as you engage with the Hecate Collective in Lily, these are our witches, our modern day witches who are computer hackers. You, based on your choices, you are assigned a prophecy card. And so you were assigned the muted mouth, and on the back side is a QR code where you can actually access a large language model of the Hecate Collective and ask any question you'd like to get your own personal prophecy.
Some of the best forms of cultural expression are when you can be as close as possible between the artist and the audience in whatever form that is. We're able to look at these characters and place consequences out there to see how we might, as people now, make those decisions. That gets us closer to the problem and it gets us closer to the story, and that's what great theatre is a place to explore big ideas of the moment together.
We're on a process of producing and developing the entire adaptation, so we're really excited. So please stay posted.
Play.
Yes.
So
yes.
there's more.
There'll
to
be
come.
more. Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
To be continued.
Absolutely.
It's very exciting. We've been shooting this project for 7 years, so this initially started as a documentary film, and then in the 4th year shooting, we were like, there should be a way to place the audience in the action. So basically we are trying to bring like a 400-year-old tradition that is happening in the northern part of Spain, where this tradition is happening, and then you see all the raw and intense connection between tradition and the clash with modernity. It's something about cultural, like heritage, tradition, and then how we position ourselves in the world with a rapidly changing world. My background is in architecture and design, and I've been doing production design and creative production for commercials for the past 12 years. This is my first immersive project, actually.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And then it's completely different approach, because in this immersive space, that's your canvas and your stage. So you have to use the space to convey your narrative and guide your audience through the space. We have, for example, scent elements, so you enter the space and you smell grass. You wear these headsets that track your movement. So you have a fly on the right, you just hear it. And then you have like a horse crossing on your left. So it's completely like immersive and embracing you and then placing you in the center of the action. With everything that is happening with technology and modernity, we are going to be at some point very far away from what is raw and real and natural. So this is a way to connect you again with what is authentic and real stories in an immersive and very tech setup. And also, as a Colombian, I think I feel very proud of represent my country here. I think the world is changing so fast, so how you keep authentic to your beliefs and your ideas, but use the technology to amplify and elevate your stories.
Well, this project is about power dynamics, and where we learn power dynamics, which are in the sanctity of our home. In the dollhouse, you are next to a little girl, and she is feeling something quite heavy. It's shame, and she's trying to process it by playing with her dolls. And so through the animations that appear before you, you learn what she's gone through and what she's trying to process. I think children, the innocence that they have, the lack of judgment that they have of others, their openness of heart is something really beautiful that we lose with time. And I think as adults, we actually have a lot to learn from children. We really tried to make it as personal as possible, and some of our artistic choices around doing more abstract animations with the dolls and the shadow world were to try and remove cultural associations so that anyone from around the world sees this they're going to be able to relate to it. And power dynamics are something that are very universal. They happen with humans everywhere. And so hopefully this is a project that will be able to travel and that everyone will be able to see a bit of themselves in it.
Yeah, so Trailblazer is the story of Bertha Benz. And
Not
it's
a direct relation to me, but
even though when
but
we
possibly.
I,
A
but
distant
possibly
relation.
it actually could be, maybe. I mean, I would love it if it was.
that would be very fun.
It would be very cool. But it's the story of the world's first car, and it's about a woman who stole her husband's invention and went on the world's first road trip in 1888.
Wow.
And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story.
She was definitely a trailblazer.
She was definitely a trailblazer.
Yes. What did you learn about her in the process? Because I had the opportunity to do your experience, and I think what's so amazing, now you do get to drive the car. It's so cool. And you're steering through the village, and there's these really interesting statements that happen. You get a lot of background about how she was perceived as a woman in those times.
I think what's so fascinating about her story is that she went on this journey when it was illegal for women to travel by themselves. And they were basically calling her a witch and claiming that this was the work of the devil. So it was this huge, very controversial statement that she made.
She was a better driver.
So she was the better driver, and she was doing it. I think what's so beautiful about the story is that she was doing it as a statement of love. So you effectively step into Berta's shoes, and you have to go round the workshop and find the blueprints to the car, and then you have to go and assemble the engine to the car, and then you get to go out and you drive the world's first car. And I just thought it was such a cool way to tell this story in VR, because you can't just go to a garage and be like, hey, sorry, can I just try the world's first car, please? Like, that doesn't happen. And that's the power of VR. And I think being able to step into someone's shoes, especially someone at that time who's incredibly marginalized, is a beautiful way to create empathy for characters, because you're undertaking the journey that she went on. And you really do feel marginalized at the end. You feel sidelined and you feel frustrated that you don't get the recognition that you should have for the work that you've just done. So I just thought that was something so beautiful about telling this story in VR.
Cannes for me is the debut of the season of film. Mm-hmm. All the life of new films are getting born in this festival. We are here with In the Current of Being by Cameron Costopoulos. This collection talks about the different practices of conversion therapy. I really think of what we put on our head as headset and then haptics. And this piece becomes an extension of our body. So our body becomes part of the storytelling as well. And Cameron's work is around how story can be embodied and how can we live the story living. This is the first time I see people coming out and unable to speak. This is for me Cameron has done his job. It's just too much that there is no word that can explain that feeling, and we are just happy that we can transmit this feeling.
Okay, so I'm here backstage, and I'm here with the director of In the Current of Being. This is Cameron Costopoulos.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here again with In the Current of Being. After winning the South by Southwest Impact Prize a couple months ago, it's great to have an international premiere here. What we're doing through this piece is really challenging how stories can be told, not something that's just seen or heard, but now felt physically. We're putting you into someone else's story by allowing you to connect with their body physically, experiencing their heartbeat, their breath. And in this case, the story of a woman who survived a horrible procedure that no one should ever have to experience again. And conversion therapy still happens all over the world. A lot of people think that this is a story that's just rooted in the past, but conversion therapy is only banned in less than 10 countries. In the US, the majority still allow it to be performed on minors. And so it's really important that we put an end to these practices, that we stop trying to cure children of just being themselves. And it's stories like this that allow people who may be otherwise averse to understanding that the real kind of reality of the brutality of what conversion therapy means.
So my name's Emma Hamilton, and the project is called Taxi, but with a capital A and a capital I for AI, because it's an AI taxi. So you get in this physical car, you sit down, you can kind of smell cigarettes, a bit of old whiskey. You see like a confessional booth in front of you, and you will be kind of welcomed by an AI taxi driver called Joe, who's a middle-aged woman of color from New Orleans, who's a very charismatic character, and she's going to try to get you to share some stories with her and maybe share some stories from older passengers that she'd had to try and relate to you, to create an authentic connection, even though she's an AI character. The more I give in my experiences with taxi, the more I get back. So if I'm vulnerable with her, if I share something intimate, or if I really throw myself into the interaction and I talk with her and I don't, stay reserved, I have a much better experience personally. So I think that the role of the audience, it depends what they want to get out of it. But I find the more vulnerable they are, the more of an impactful experience they have. I think what we're trying to do is bring some humanity into a technology that maybe feels a bit sterile sometimes, and see if people can actually get vulnerable with an AI and how that makes them feel, because we're not always nice to each other in day-to-day life. And I think it's, we can do better in real life. So let's see what we do in a taxi with an AI.
What do you say to aspiring producers that are looking to get into the field? If we think about a younger version of you, a young woman looking, maybe she's graduating college, thinking, how do I enter the immersive space?
One of the things that I always say, and I remember this really launched my career, is workshops. If they can participate in workshops, or if they can, for example, for me was Biennale College, where everything really started. So I would, propose definitely go to one of these workshops.
A very important starting point is to really, and this sounds really cheesy, but you need to believe in your work and value your artistic vision and be bold. We're in a time when creative industries are suffering across film, games, theater, but it is not a reflection of audience appetite, and so it is our role as artists to really believe in our work and cultivate that work and cultivate our independent voices, and that's how we can really connect with audiences.
One thing that I really thought about is that often we're offered like mentoring opportunities, and actually we want to just be offered opportunity. So I think there's a reciprocity around all of us working in this industry, who have been working in this industry for a long time, is to, whenever we see people come in, is to offer opportunity and give a space and make sure we're thinking about that, so it's not a glass ceiling and it's not a closed shop. So I think it's actually quite overwhelming and intimidating as a first-time independent person coming in these environments, and I think that it really is more about the community, making sure that it's creating the right culture for those people coming in to thrive and set them up for success.
It's a hard industry. It's hard to figure out how to work with people. There's really lots of ego in it, and you don't have to do it alone. I mean, I'm just going to say, pick your collaborators, pick people that connect to you to hear what you're saying. That's something as a woman creator or a producer that I've struggled a lot with, where I know my ideas are good, I just feel like other people actually aren't hearing them. So don't give up, persevere, and let your work speak for itself.
A young woman was here yesterday and she was like, do I pursue the dream of doing something like this in immersive and trying to produce, or do I go down the route that I've been studying, which is finance, and I know I'm going to make more money? For me personally, even if the money for the moment is not the best, it really is just that kind of, it makes me want to get out of bed, makes me want to create more. Being able to make stories like Taxi, this has been one of the funnest projects I've ever worked on. To be able to do something so fun with a talented group of people and bring it somewhere like this is just like, it's fantastic. So I personally think if you've got the energy to try and do it, I think it's worth it when it works.
Give it a try.
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay, and now a little bit of an embodiment question. This feeling of this achievement and being here, where do you feel it in your body?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it depends on who I am talking to. I think I like to feel people's energy, particularly when they're coming out of the experience and you can see that there was something really meaningful and they really connected to the work. I think I feel it here in my heart, and it really warms me up and moves me.
I mean, my feet mainly, but festivals are, because you do so much standing and talking, so feet and mouth.
I feel that every emotion personally, I feel it like in my gut. And sometimes, when I have like these strong like emotions, I feel like kind of numb. So my arms actually get like a little bit numb, and I feel like like a lot of like pressure, like it's in the center of my gut, but in a good way. So you feel like you're like probably like getting like a shot of like energy, and then it's like too much, so you're like kind of like elevated in an unconscious way.
I think I feel it in my feet because I've been walking around so much. I literally have been on my feet all day. So I feel, practically speaking, I feel it in my feet.
You're not the only person who said that.
Oh, really? Okay, great. I also feel it in my heart, obviously.
Beautiful.
I know, so poetic.
It is here. It is definitely on my chest. It's coming up. It's full of excitement and gratitude.
Kind of here. I would say, yeah. It's that place where the anxiety sits as well, It's like,
Both feelings.
yeah.
swirling
Good
around.
and bad. It all kind of sits about here.
Have you jumped through any portals here at Cannes?
Goodness, have I jumped through any portals? My first experience of it really did take me somewhere else, and I think that was my portal. I haven't had the chance to see anyone else's work yet, though, so I'm hoping that that's going to change for me.
Oh, I think every door you open is a portal, whether it's a portal into a party, a portal into like a fancy sun-kissed lunch.
Portal into a boat.
Yes.
Didn't imagine to be having meetings on a boat this weekend, but that's been an absolute joy. And a portal into the work.
I think the portal is like the possibilities are just so endless, and I think the portal for me would be just there is like a completely immense world of sensorial and sensations, so that is like just worth to explore.
Well, it's been very go-go since we've been here, and every headset that you put on is a portal to a different world. So I have checked out some of the other experiences. So those are many portals, and just the plane to get here feels like a portal of a new world. So I'm so excited and thrilled to be here and to see all the great content creators and what they've managed to come up with.
Portal for me is already this.
This is.
We are
We're
we
here
are
on the portal
exactly
here.
we are standing on a portal.
I love that.
So let's see how Portal where it will
Where it will
bring
take
us.
us.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that. I'll see you on the next side of the portal.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kira.